Holy smokes, it's the Computer Guru Show. I don't know if you heard the last hour. I mean, that's a good show. I like his show. He's got a good show.
Yeah.
Knows where the button's at now.
Yeah.
He's fun, dude. 790-2040 if you want to be part of the show. This is the Computer Guru Show. My name is Mike. I'm here to deal with your technology problems and treat you like a person in the process. We got a little bit of follow-up from 2 weeks ago / last week. One regarding the Hyperloop. Mm-hmm. All right, so immediately after I got out of the show, there was an email waiting for me. And it said, yo, dude, I think you're wrong about the Hyperloop.
Ooh.
And so he's going on about, magnetics, and because we talked about magnets and air and theoretical speeds and all of that stuff. Well, it turns out that that one of the things that we were a little confused about was the location, right? You had mentioned, Kent, you had mentioned Texas, right? And they do have a test area there. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
However, they are what we were talking about the last week or the week before was that they're actually building a real unit in California to do live testing with.
Correct.
And it does indeed use induction motors to propel the tubes. So I feel justified in saying, yeah, magnets.
How do those work?
Yeah.
Big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was some idea that it was going to be propelled by air, and the answer is no. The levitation within the tube is air. It uses air injectors to do that. But the entire system is under a light vacuum. So it's about 1/6 the amount of atmospheric pressure in the tube than you would have outside the tube. So, it uses magnets to propel it.
In a series of tubes.
Tubes and magnets. Don't know how any of them work.
There you have it.
There we are. All right, so we're done with follow-up for the week.
All right.
If you'd like to be part of the show, 790-2040. You can call up and argue with me if you want. Or you can get your free tech support for the week. Ask any question you want. Has anything to do with technology, preferably. Although, we often do marriage counseling on the side.
Get your checkbook out now.
That's right.
We do now, I guess.
I'm way cheaper than the actual counselor.
Just wow.
That was funny right there, man. I like that.
So we're going to do a little bit of news, but the core of the show today is going to be the frequently, almost always repeated things, otherwise known as fart. Things that we say every week to every person that seems to come through the shop or that we have to deal with on a regular basis. And things we often repeat on this show. Hey, let's see, Kent, what's the first thing you think of when I say, what do I have to repeat all the time, Kent?
Backups.
That's on the list.
That's the number one.
It's on the list.
That's like number one.
Do you have a backup? Anyway, we're gonna cover a lot of that stuff and talk about things
that are important.
Right. Well, it's important enough that I have to repeat it all the time. And I'm not looking to put myself out of business over at Computer Guru. Right. I'm not looking to say, well, if you guys do all of these things, you won't have to come see me. What? And the truth is that if you do all of these things, the likelihood of you having to come see me at work it goes down dramatically.
Low. Yeah.
But let's face it, this is AM radio. Not everybody's listening. I'm still going to live, right? I'm still going to be able to make my rent. So think of it as this is an exclusive club, right? There's like 12,000 local people that are a part of an exclusive club where they can keep their computers running well, and like 70,000 like on the internet in other countries who wouldn't spend money with me anyway. So yeah, you guys too. But we're gonna try to make it so that life is just a little bit less
stressful,
busy for you when it comes to your computer, because really these are they're easy.
Yeah.
It's not all that difficult, and they're not expensive.
And you don't want to go to your computer and turn it on and then start yelling like Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's not something that you want to do.
To the internet!
No! Why?
Why? All right, let's see. News stuff. Have you been on Facebook lately?
Yes. Is that a question
Holy
you really ask me?
Crap. Well, as far as the Facebook stuff is concerned, there's this thing going around. It's like, yo, ladies, how would you like to be part of a secret Santa exchange with other ladies?
The Secret
Ladies.
Sisters.
Yeah, so there's this thing called the Secret Sisters Gift Exchange happening on Facebook. And it's fake.
Very.
Yeah. It's a pyramid scheme.
It grew suspicious to me. I've seen it several times in my mommy groups and in my gamer girl groups and several other groups. And I'm like, you send one present and you get 36 back. How does that even mathematically equate?
Bro, do you even math?
Yeah.
No. That's not how that works. If you're part of a legitimate Secret Santa exchange, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. Mm-hmm. All right? Every year there are a multitude of scams that prey on the weakness of Christmas, as far as trying to just I mean really
Giving and
it's
compassion.
it's
and
$10, all right? Okay. All right, if you want to participate in the $10 scam, by all means go ahead. But I'm saying you probably shouldn't,
Yeah.
because it's a pyramid scheme. And the person in the number one spot as far as posting is concerned, is going to get a majority of your money and all of the people you sign up.
And then one person will have a nice Christmas.
One person's going to have a great Christmas. Fantastic. Until all their friends find out that they scammed them.
Yeah.
So if you see any of the secret sister gift exchanges going on Facebook, pass the word around. We'll even put the link in the show notes that says, guess what? This is totally fake.
Yeah.
This is no good for anybody. Well, one person.
One person
One
will
person.
benefit. If you want to do a Secret Santa, there's several of them out there.
Right. We did one last year at the shop.
Mm-hmm. It was fun. And then I also participated in a Reddit gift exchange, Secret Santa.
The Reddit gift exchange, I think, is pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you have no idea what you're going to get.
No.
None.
Yeah,
At
there's no
all.
guarantees.
And let's just go ahead and say that on the Reddit, there are a whole lot of people that are just a little bit weird.
Now, mine turned out pretty well.
I think that
So.
the stuff that I thought was most interesting about the Secret Santa from last year on Reddit was that it seemed as though the goal was to make the gift unopenable.
Yeah. As much duct tape as possible.
And so even though there was a legitimate gift in there that was useful or fun, or, I mean, it wasn't just like, dog poop or something.
Right.
But one guy had actually built a metal box and welded it shut to put the stuff in there and then mailed it.
Yeah.
Or, 12 rolls of duct tape.
Puzzle
Or-
boxes.
There's all kinds of different stuff. And it seemed like that was just as much fun as the gift itself really is. Cool.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
So, yeah, the Reddit gift exchange is pretty good. But the Secret Sisters gift exchange
Is not so good.
is not so good. You're not going to get anything out of it. You can get 36 25-cent gifts for your $10.
Sorry, girls.
Yeah, don't do it. Is there anything else that had to be mentioned in the first segment here?
Perfection Auto Works.
Yeah, but we're getting to them. We're getting to them. Well, let's talk about the other car article then.
Okay.
Mysterious billion-dollar car company is taking on Tesla.
Yes, sir.
How's that even possible?
I don't even know. They've amassed all these top minds in engineering and electromagnetics and cars, and they've got over 400 employees already, and they're hiring about 10 a week until they amass around 500. And the company is called Faraday Future, and it comes from the English scientist Michael Faraday, who contributed to the fields of electromagnetism and electrochemistry. Kind of like Tesla.
Which is a lot of the stuff
Nikola
that Tesla's
Tesla.
work was built on,
Yeah.
right? Well, I think it's good. And I'm sure, just from the research I've done on Tesla, I'm sure they think it's good too.
Yeah.
Right? Because that was the whole point of releasing all of the patents, making them available, making it so that other people were also building electric cars. I mean,
Right.
Elon Musk wants everybody driving in an electric car. and he was talking in an interview about the what it would take to turn over the entire inventory of vehicles to make them electric. And he said, even if everyone started selling electric cars today, as in only electric cars, right, it would still take like 35 years.
I believe it.
To get the fuel cars off of the road, because it takes forever, right? And that's. I have hope that we're going to be moving towards an electric car future.
Right.
And I think that Elon Musk has done a good job with Tesla as far as saying, we're concerned about performance. Well, we've taken care of that. We've got a car that goes faster than effectively anything you can buy.
And this Faraday Future company, they're pulling some big people like Nick Sampson. He was the former director and vehicle chassis engineering guy for Tesla. So it's some pretty big competition, and that's good. Competition is very good. It promotes growth, I think, to be better than the others.
Well, I'm happy for them. I think that they need to. I think there needs to be more people pushing the electric cars and building them well. I read an article about the Tesla AutoDrive thing last week, where these guys took one of the cars that recently had its update and drove it coast to coast, did the cannonball run with the Tesla doing the driving, with the car itself doing the driving. And they made it across the country in like less than 2 days, just because even that includes fuel stops or charging stops and all of that stuff. And this guy that was writing the article he generally writes articles for car magazines. He is a gearhead by definition, right? Only owns muscle cars and all of this stuff. And the couple of things that he really highlighted in his article really stood out to me. One of which was maintenance. He goes, I've done this ride with supercharged BMWs and really nice cars. I've done this run a bunch of times, and he goes, there's so much maintenance involved with the vehicles, and he goes, there's only two things that you ever have for maintenance on a Tesla: tires and windshield wipers. Right? There's no belts, there's no fluids, there's no anything. And just the idea that maintenance could be eliminated
would be awesome.
Is an really interesting idea. And it kind of makes you wonder about, what that's going to mean moving forward for everyone, right? You're going to have engineers working on these cars. I mean, I'm sure you still have to do like alignments.
Probably,
and all of these other things that.
The basics.
Basic stuff. But it's pretty interesting to think about what's happening with that type of stuff.
But right now, not everybody has a Tesla.
In fact, most nobody has a Tesla.
And you still need maintenance.
You still need maintenance. And you still need David at the shop, by the way, pack rats again in his car.
Oh, no, again? Where is he living?
I think this is the third time. Apparently, Audis taste great. That's got to be it. It's got to be it.
Oh, poor David.
And, I told him to go down there and get that strobe light installed at Perfection Auto Works. I said, you got to go down there and do it, because they'll install it. They'll put it in there, make it so that your car doesn't have pack rats eating at the inside of it. Maybe Audis are just irresistible.
Maybe.
For pack rats. I don't know. Anyway, go down to Perfection Auto Works. Check them out. Give them a call. PerfectionAutoWorks.com. Mike Emer's a great guy. They do great work. And they can put a light in your car to keep it from getting eaten by pack rats. Come on now. PerfectionAutoWorks.com. We'll be right back.
Whether you're dealing with hardware installation or, heaven forbid, a virus,
No!
Mike Swanson is answering all your questions one by one. So call in or chat in with yours. The website, gurushow.com. Tune in, click in, and kick back. This is the Computer Guru Show on AM 1030 KVOY The Voice. Mike Swanson, your computer guru, is just a click away. Listen and watch at gurushow.com. This is the Computer Guru Show.
Welcome to my world.
Welcome back to the Computer Guru Show. My name is Mike, here to deal with your technology needs and treat you like a real person in the process. 790-2040 if you want to be part of the show. I don't know, this might have something. Oh, there was an internet scams call that went away. Oh, man. Well,
They should call back.
yeah, because we're going to talk about internet scams also a little bit. Let's go ahead and talk to Philip. Hello, Philip. How are you?
No, this is Greg, Mike.
It's Greg. Well, I don't know. Do you
Yeah,
know what? Your name says Philip on the Who's Calling list.
Well, I
here.
can. You know what? I'll go downtown and change it on Monday if that's helpful.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to have an identity crisis here. At least
Mike,
not
let
a-
me ask you a question. I've been practicing law for a lot of years, and this business with the internet. I put an item on Craigslist. I get contacted, and the guy says, "Here's what we're going to do. We'll send you a check, and I'm going to include an extra $1,000, which you'll give to my shipper." And I said, "That sounds great." And you and I know that's a scam from the beginning. But here's this cashier's check in my hand. So my question for you is, of course, it's phony. It's for $2,900. Do we have the technology? And secondly, let's just leave it at that. Do we have the technology to trace the guy that contacted me over the internet? I mean, I have an address, of course, as a name on the check. But some folks, of course, aren't that bright. They take advantage of the elderly, generally speaking. How do we track computers? Is it doable, or does that interfere with people's privacy?
Well, yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about the actual versus what we think we can do.
Okay.
All right. So as far as you and I are concerned on our own, not a whole lot, really. We don't necessarily have that either technical ability or the resources that would be required to pull that off.
I phrased the question wrong. What can the government do? Because it interferes with so many folks who are taken advantage of, then their account is drained, and then the banks are going after the person, and it's a shame. It's a crime.
It is absolutely a crime. Now, since you've rephrased your question, I will tell you right now, the FBI can do stuff about that. Mm-hmm. And any time that you deal with fraudulent behavior on the internet, that's an FBI issue. Okay. So those are the people you contact. There are local people for the FBI here that take complaints when it turns you're dealing with the internet, and they're pretty good. They seem to be good people, and they seem to take that stuff pretty seriously as far as whether people are being taken advantage of. They're being scammed. So yeah, I would take that check, that money or a cashier's check to the FBI and let them have it, and
good idea,
and let them deal with their part of it.
Good idea. All right, guys, listen, continue the good work, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right,
Take
thanks.
Care. Bye.
Philip/Greg. Yeah.
New phone system. What can I say?
Yeah.
My fault, totally.
That was bizarre.
Getting more swats, man.
Yeah, I mean, between the last show and this one, man, you're just having a rough day. Just a rough day.
It's been a challenge.
It's been a challenge.
It's been a challenge, but live radio, baby.
Makes things more exciting.
All right. So let's go ahead and talk about a few of the things that are repeated all the time. Things we talk about often. And just because of something I saw in the chat, we're going to go ahead and we're going to change the number one, because it seems to be something I say a lot these days.
Yeah.
Which is, yes, Windows 10 collects information about you.
Yeah.
Absolutely does collect information about you. Guess what? So does Windows 8, 8.1, Windows 7. All of them collect the same information. All of them. Now, luckily, there is an opportunity to turn those off for the most part. You can turn off all of the collection of information, or at least allow it not to be sent to anyone. And there's some utilities that can do that. There's some scripts you can do it manually if you really want to. You go in there and turn all of that stuff off. It's a few registry edits. Most of them are just, you go to the setting and say, yeah, don't report back. I mean, so it's not like they're terribly hidden.
Right.
Even, it's just go through the settings and turn all of that stuff off. Make it so that information just isn't sent. And not to mention, you're overly paranoid in this case, because the previous operating system, the one that you're sticking to, the one that you're in now, because you don't want to switch to the one that is collecting information about you, is collecting information about you, and there is no easy way to turn it off. So, really, people, first of all, if you're in 7, we're not recommending you upgrade to 10 yet anyway.
Right.
So you can go ahead and stick around there for a little bit. But if you're going to remain in the Microsoft ecosystem, if you're going to remain in the Windows environment, you will be upgrading soon. Otherwise, you'll end up in the same situation where we had lots of people that were in XP even, and then had nowhere to go, right? There was no upgrade path.
Right.
They had to reinstall everything. Life became very, very unpleasant. So Microsoft's going to end support for 7 and Vista officially, and 7 and 8 actually, next year. So you are going to be in a situation where you must upgrade if you want to stay in that environment. So yeah, don't get overly paranoid about the metrics stuff, because all of that can be turned off. As far as whether or not it's recording information about you, yes, it is, as all operating systems do. And not to mention, you give up more information just surfing Facebook than you do using your computer.
Right.
So if you really are concerned about that information, you're going to stop using social media, and you're going to stop shopping online. In fact, you're going to stop using the internet, is really what it's going to come down to.
Pretty much.
Because every place you go to is collecting information about you, and then using that information to target you or people like you with advertising. So you can turn off all the metrics all you want, but unless you stop using the internet, it's not going to make much of a difference anyway. So there we are. Let's go ahead and talk to Mark. Hey, Mark, how are you?
Hey, well, I gave you my early Black Tuesday present here by taking away the red light cameras for you.
I noticed that.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, I was out browsing for the new, move up into the new generation of quad-core, hexadecimal core, whatever the hell it is they got now. And I was thinking along the lines of, well, let's get Windows 7, because I will get Windows 10 for free, and I'll have both of them then. And
well, not exactly, but yeah.
I know, but somebody actually said, the new processors, some of them don't work well with Windows 7. Have you heard that storyline?
Well, not processors, but the biggest thing that we see is USB drivers. So a lot of things will be like USB drivers just won't work, or they won't make a Windows 7 driver for a lot of the newer hardware.
Oh, so it's motherboard and firmware and all that kind of stuff, and some of the USB hardware then. Yeah,
but USB hardware is really hard to get around. So, as far as if you're buying a new machine, if it's like an OEM machine, if it's going to be a name brand, then you might as well just buy 10. Buy a machine that has 10 on it to begin with. If you're getting a home built machine or a custom built machine, then you can go 7 and then work your way up.
Yeah, I don't know. It seemed like they were a little more, intense than I wanted to get into with, will this work with 7? I mean, I guess we could go look up the Windows or the motherboard manufacturers and see what they say, if they got any exceptions to that, or.
Well, you're pretty much at a point right now where if it's a new machine, if it's brand new, you might as well save yourself the hassle, and it should have 10 on it to begin with.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're going to have an argument with it. There's going to be this discussion, and maybe even a negotiation about whether or not your mouse is going to work.
Yeah, right. All right, well, that's another interesting thought. I appreciate it. And I am, again, as others have said, liking your east side location option more and more.
Well, thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Have a good day, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
Yeah, everybody should go to the east side location. That's all I'm saying.
It's a nice location.
Yeah, get right on it. Head over to the east side location right now.
Go.
Just drive right over there. All right, so as far as the Windows 10 thing is concerned, yes, it's tracking information about you. Mm-hmm. And the only reason you know it, and the only reason anybody knows about the information that is being tracked, is because Microsoft told you they were tracking that information. So, yeah, just turn it off and then stop complaining about it. I understand that there's a whole lot of adversity to change. And even with my machine at the house, right? I upgraded to 10 from 7, and it has some quirkiness that I'm not exactly thrilled about. It's not a completely stable product yet. There are some bugs that are being worked out. That's why we're telling people with 7, don't upgrade yet. Don't do it. If you're Windows 8, though, yeah, do it yesterday. Do it immediately. You should be doing it right now. Yeah, and so those Windows 8 is terrible, right? And at least Windows 10 is a step up from that. It's better. But if you're in 7, stick around, stay right there for a little while, and everything will be fine. Now, when we come back, we're going to talk about more of the things that we repeat a lot, often, almost all the time. All the time. We'll be right back.
Your computer guru, Mike Swanson, is here to help you tame that beast of a machine. Join the chat right now at gurushow.com or call in. This is the Computer Guru Show on KVOY, The Voice. Mike Swanson, your computer guru, is just a click away. Listen and watch at gurushow.com. This is the Computer Guru Show on KVOI, The Voice.
Welcome back to the Computer Guru Show. As it turns out, everybody's just playing into my list today. The list of things that I have to repeat often. Let's talk to Bob. Hello, Bob. How are you?
Hi, thanks for taking my call. Got Windows 7, and originally when I would go to sleep mode, it would stay in sleep mode until I enter a key on the keyboard.
Right.
Now, it just kind of wakes up itself every 20 minutes or every half hour or hour. Comes out of sleep mode by itself. Do you know what could be causing that?
One, you're using sleep mode, and we don't like sleep mode. We think sleep mode is terrible. However,
It saves everything, and it keeps so you don't, like, if you have to go take a break for a couple hours, you come back, and everything's still there, and it's pretty fast to boot up.
Yeah. So, why don't you just leave it on?
You know, like 3 or 4 hours. I don't know.
I never turned my computer off.
Yeah. Okay.
So here's the thing. Now, there's a difference between sleep and hibernate. So,
Right, I'm talking sleep.
So if it's in sleep mode, there's all kinds of different things that'll wake it up. Your mouse could be flaking out, right? It could be moving just a little bit. Is it a wireless mouse?
No, but it's I guess, is it a laser? But the light's off when it goes to sleep mode.
Well, the mouse will definitely wake it up. So
Yeah, but the mouse is not moving. Nothing's moving.
it doesn't necessarily have to be moving. The mouse just has to think it's moving is what I'm getting at here. And we see it all the time. All the time. So, and we generally have the same argument with clients. I'm not moving my mouse. Well, it doesn't mean anything. It could be a hair stuck in there, right? A piece of fuzz or something that is moving, and it's so small that it's enough to wake up the computer, but you don't see it. There's software that can be doing it, as far as you might have a piece of software that's set to wake up the computer. Like a lot of people have CCleaner on their machine. And there's an option in CCleaner that says, go ahead and wake this computer up to clean it every so often. And so there could be any number of things that's causing sleep to be interrupted. This is one of the reasons I tell people, don't use sleep, right? Just have the monitor shut off and leave the computer on.
Okay.
The amount of power you're saving from one to the other, as far as sleep versus it just running in sort of a low power state, isn't much. And how about, if you're waiting for 4 or 5 seconds for it to come back from sleep, how about no seconds? You just wait for the monitors to come back on.
Yeah.
So I don't like sleep, and I especially don't like hibernate on desktop machines. If you're on a laptop, that's a different thing. But if you're on a desktop, don't let it go to sleep. It's dumb. Because it's going to irritate you and aggravate you, when really all you got to do is just shut off the monitors.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Right on. Thanks for the call. Let's go ahead and talk to Shane. As soon as Kent hits the button over there. Kent's not gonna hit the button. He's on the phone. Hit the button over there. He can't even hear me.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't even have the headphones on.
So anyway, that's one of the things on the list, which is don't put your computer to sleep. It just doesn't work well. It doesn't work well at all. Especially under Windows 7 and older, the sleep was never very good. It was just not great. Kent, can you hear me now? Go ahead and put Shane on for me. Hello, Shane. How are you?
Hey, Guru. This dovetails with the last question. Ever since I upgraded to Windows 10, I use a laptop, but I go back and forth, so I set it up as kind of my desktop at home. And I've changed all the settings a million times, but it keeps, like, I'll walk away for 2 minutes, come back, and it went to lock screen.
Okay.
And I have to type back in my PIN code and re-enter, and it has to reconnect to the internet because I guess when it goes to lock screen, it shuts off the and this is on an Ethernet cable. It shuts off the reader.
Right.
So it gives me the little yellow triangle and then comes back. But it's like I can't get up and go to the kitchen and get something to drink and come back without it going to lock screen. And I'm just going, have you heard of this? Is this a problem? Because I mean, I'm not a dum-dum, but I've changed every setting everywhere, saying don't go to sleep, only turn off the monitors. And it still just goes to lock screen in literally a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
What about your screensaver settings?
Screensaver I have in the control panel for Windows I have turned off. There's no screensaver set. It says do nothing, like nothing.
Okay, so there's no timeout? There's no checkbox there that says return me to the lock screen?
On the Windows 10 settings screen, it has a specific box for lock screen, and the only thing it offers is require password to resume from lock screen or not. It doesn't give like a time.
All right, so the check isn't there, though.
Correct.
What kind of mail accounts do you have set up on the machine?
Just Gmail. Now, I do have I'm logged into multiple Gmails at one time for business and home.
Okay, are any of them set? Are they like business managed accounts?
One is Google Apps.
Okay.
Is that what you're referring to?
Well, there's a setting that an administrator can set from the Google administrator that requires your computer to have a lock screen password, and they can also set the timeout. And it will override your local settings as long as that email account exists on your computer.
I'll go look for it. So I should, because I'm a Google Apps administrator for it's the one we use for our radio show. So I should go in and look for that setting under Google Apps under the administration?
That's the first place I'd start looking. I mean,
okay.
if you're sure you got all the other settings, if you're sure that there's no checkbox there for require password in the lock screen, if you're sure that the screensaver is not happening, and if you're sure that it's set not to loop back to that, then yeah, you start looking at other things like what types of programs would have the ability to override those settings, and those would be things like mail accounts.
Oh, okay. So something that's overriding it for security reason and basically locking the computer.
Right. As an example, like my email at my office, when any user puts their account on either their phone or their like laptop or whatever, it has requirements that says that this must have a password, this device. And so it overrides your local settings and says, if you want this account on your phone, then you have to have a password. If you want this account on your computer, then it has to have a password.
So should I try one last troubleshoot and remove from the lock screen, remove that setting that says enter your PIN when the lock screen's on?
Yeah, you want to take that out too.
Take that out too? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wondered. I went, wow, are other people with this Windows 10, maybe it was one of the bugs that rolled out that, regardless of what the setting is, it just locks up when you go to lock. I mean, it's just tedious. It's not that it hurts anything. It's just a pain in the butt when you walk away and come back, with your Coke and it's locked up.
Yeah. Yeah, well, give it a shot, man. Let me know how it
Hey,
works
I
out.
appreciate it. You have a great day, Mike.
Thanks, man. All right, who are we talking to now? Maria? Let's go ahead and talk to Maria. Hello, Maria. Are you there? Wait a minute. He didn't click on it. I bet he can't click on it because Tom's on the phone. My God.
New phone
New
system.
phone
is
system.
Awesome.
All right, so we'll,
Hello, Maria.
are you there, Maria?
Yes, I am.
All right. How can we help you?
Okay, great. I have a laptop computer with Windows 7, and I have AVG Free as my virus protect, and I have Thunderbird for my email.
Okay.
And what is happening lately is that AVG keeps updating, and what happens is that the scanning for the emails through AVG prevents me from loading my email. It will just not load, or it will take a long time, and when it finally does come up, it starts to load my emails, and then it hesitates, and it doesn't allow me to continue loading unless I move my cursor around, and then it'll continue loading. It seems like it's interfering with, one of them is interfering with the other one.
Well, that may be true. How old's your computer?
Oh, it's several years old. Let me see. I can tell you in 1 second.
We don't need a real number. Just give me an estimation.
I have it here. I know I do. 09.
From 2009. So
Yes.
that's a pretty old computer.
Well, it's doing its job, except that now I just have this one issue.
All right. How much mail do you have in your inbox?
That I keep purged.
Okay.
And my trash I keep purged, and my scent, and all the spam, all of that. I keep up with that weekly.
And it's got Windows 7 on it?
Yes.
Okay.
It was upgraded to a Windows 7 when
Okay.
Windows 7 first came out. Mm-hmm.
All right. So the likelihood of AVG interfering with stuff is very high, just because AVG does that. And most antiviruses do. We'll just go ahead and throw that out there. But considering the age of the machine, I would start looking at other things first, like possible failing hard drive, or memory starvation, like you just don't have enough RAM on the machine. So I would start looking at other things first, physical problems first, considering how old the machine is. So you might want to just add some more RAM to the machine or get the hard drive replaced, but truth be told, on a machine that's 7 years old, it's time to just get a new one.
Right. Okay. Do you offer, I'll call it checkups of your computer to run a check to see if everything is working properly?
We do diagnostics. $50 for a diagnostic. If that's all we're doing is a diagnostic, then it's $50.
Okay. And if you find something wrong, then it's in addition to that, obviously.
Yeah, that cost, if we do the work to repair it, that $50 is applied towards the fix. So diagnostic is free if we actually fix it, but if all we're doing is diagnostic, it's $50.
Okay, very good. All right. Well, that gives me some things to think about and work on, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you
it's
very
a
much.
great show.
Thank you very much for the call. And
okay, bye.
Now we're going to talk to Doug. Hi, Doug.
Good morning, Mike. I've got a question about iTunes. They did an update a while back, and after I did the update, all of the music that I had ripped off CDs disappeared off the computer, but it stayed on my devices.
Right.
So when I would plug in my devices, the playlist would be there, and when I'd unplug them, they would disappear, and the only thing that would be up there is stuff I purchased from iTunes. And so I'm wondering if you know that to be true, that update kind of wiped that out, or if something else happened, because I just had to transfer my iTunes from my iPhone 5 to my new iPhone, and I had to use an app that I got from iMobile called Trans something to do it, because there was no way I could transfer.
Yeah, there's a utility called CopyTrans that does that. And there's a bunch of different utilities out there for doing that type of thing. But that update likely didn't actually make your music disappear. It just hid it.
Huh.
So there's a way that you can rebuild the library. And I recommend people do that every so often anyway if they're in iTunes. Let me go ahead and just throw it out there. iTunes is terrible and I don't like it. But you can take all of the music on your computer in your iTunes library, remove it, delete everything out of the library, put the music back in the folder, and have it rebuild that. And that seems to work pretty well.
So they did something to basically trick us and then get us to buy more music. Is that kind of the deal, or what?
I don't know if it was intentional. I think that
Yeah.
it was just there was a feature that happened to step on your music and hide it.
I get it. It just seemed like it was sort of a strange thing that all of a sudden that would change like that.
Yeah.
But I appreciate your help, Mike. Thank you.
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it. Well, yeah, it's not very often that the guy that runs the radio station calls in.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. This is Computer Guru Show.
Computer troubles? Need some advice? Call in now. Mike Swanson will be back after these messages. The Computer Guru Show, AM 1030, KVOY, The Voice. Your technology guru, Mike Swanson, is answering all your questions one by one.
Yes, science!
So chime in with yours. The website is gurushow.com. Tune in, click in, and kick back. This is the Computer Guru Show.
So the list of things that we always repeat that we're trying to make so that we didn't have to repeat ourselves
Right.
was interrupted by us repeating ourselves. People calling, which is good though, because it goes to show we repeat ourselves a lot when it comes to this, and there are basic things that everyone should know, and so we're going to continue this list next week because we didn't have time to get through hardly any of it this week.
Repeatception.
That's right. But yes, do you have a backup?
That's a big one.
It is a big one. Now, we had a guy that came in last week. He's using an accounting software that is literally 22 years old or something. It's DOS based. It's really old. He goes, yes, I have a backup, and he's using this Norton backup utility. And guess what? There's nothing there in that backup, man. It didn't grab anything. It grabbed the folders, folder names, but none of the contents of those folders. So, yeah, if you don't have a verified backup, you don't have a backup. And if you're going to rely on it to save your 20-year-old software or anything else, then, yeah, you're kind of in trouble.
Need to make sure it's there.
If you want to ask us about backups, we do off-site backups. So we can online backups where you put a little utility on your computer and you can back up to us. There is that option. Give us a call and ask us about it, 304-8300, and we can set you up with online backups. Keep your data safe. Make sure everything works. You don't have to cry in the lobby. Everything's great. It's wonderful. Let's take a minute to mention our sponsors, one of which is Perfection Auto Works, of course, which you've heard their ads throughout this, and the other is
Desert Pro Commercial Cleaning, LLC, the best Tucson janitorial services. We don't cut corners, we clean corners.
You darn right they do. They even clean our offices over at Harrison, so Broadway and Harrison, if you want to come by and check that new East Side location out, that would be great. Thanks for listening to the Computer Guru Show. We'll see you next week.